Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM. Welcome back to the Vintage Oaks. I do hope you're doing very well and having a lovely day. So you join me in the early in the morning, first thing, 3rd day of October, 8:05 in the morning. Just cracking on, looking after the cows initially, getting them mucked out. I have just stocked them up with one bale of straw, so they're all right for that. And we do need to. I've got one of the trailers hooked up to the fast track just to get one trailer load of TMR thrown in there, and that wasn't a particularly good scoop. It's quite challenging doing that from cab, isn't it, sometimes? Let's get that right there, shall we? That's better. So yeah, just getting these lot mucked out. We're going to stick the manure obviously over in the bunker. Quick update on the cows. If I jump out, we can have a look at the numbers. If I bring up the heads-up display, as you can see, they're just shy of 10,000 litres of food of TMR, so we're going to stock that up for a couple of trailers in a few moments' time. Straw-wise, 12,000, just under 13,000 litres of straw, so they're fine for the day. And we've now got just under 175,000 litres of slurry in the tank as well. Now, I did mention this a couple of episodes ago that I'm going to allow that slurry just to build up as much as possible, so that I'll know that I'll have enough to do a couple of the fields, thanks to the field calculator mod, which lets me know exactly how much slurry and manure and digestate, for example, each of the fields that we own takes. We can hold 500,000 litres in the tank in the cow barn, so I'm going to let that build right up to the top, and that should allow us to cover potentially 2 fields. Now, the timing isn't necessarily going to work, obviously, because once the crops have germinated, I do have crop destruction turned on, so obviously I'm not going to be able to run the slurry tanker in the field once the crops have germinated, because I'll end up destroying my crops. Because obviously I can fit the narrow wheels to the tractors, but I don't think I can equip narrow wheels to the slurry tanker, and I don't think that's the right thing to do anyway. You'd be applying slurry to the bare soil, wouldn't you, to get the nutrition into the soil? So we can let that build up anyway, and if the timing doesn't work correctly, we can always sell a bit of that slurry and just carry on letting it build up, essentially. But so it might be after the first harvest in a few of the fields that we'll get the opportunity to spread that slurry. But either way, that's fine. That's all good. I've got the trailer hooked up to the fast track here. We're just going to go and dump a couple of trailer loads of TMR for the cows. But then we have plenty of work to crack on with. We really do. Quick update here. The silage bunker is 65% fermented, and I don't think this thing will fit in between that framework, so we'll do my best here just to reverse it in. There we go. Well, that worked, didn't it? Goodness me. There we go. TMR, lovely stuff. So yeah, while that's doing, I'll jump into the map PDA. We'll have a quick field update. So as you can see, field 17 and field 22, this is the oats and the barley. Oats in 22, barley in 17. These both need to be rolled, and they both need their first stage of fertilizer applying, but obviously we'll be doing that once the crop has germinated at the beginning of next month. So we'll be doing that. As you can see, we have weeds in field 26. Now, a couple of episodes ago, if I remove the weeds as well, this also says it needs rolling, but that was entirely my mistake. I completely missed that job off, and by mistake, and so yeah, I'm going to have to take a little bit of a hit on the yield numbers for that, because this crop has already started germinating, so obviously I can't run a field roller now, can I? So yeah, both the grass fields are fine. They've got both of their natural states of fertilizer applied, so that's all good. So we can just leave them to their own devices for the next few weeks. And field 62 here is completely empty, and we're going to be drilling that with canola as soon as possible. But I do want to get the field rolling done first. That's what I want to crack on with that first. I've just spent a few minutes just getting a few things set up. We still have the seeders attached to the 2 Fords and the case. So once we get out to the field, once we start the job for drilling, we'll make sure those are completely filled up before we do that job. But I've got the field roller attached to the Fendt at the minute, and I'm going to run that in the 2 fields and get that done. Now it's going to take quite a while, I appreciate that, because obviously I've only got the 1 field roller. It's 6 meters wide, and I know previously obviously I have doubled up on machines, haven't I? I bought, because of the size of the fields and the size of the machinery, obviously we've now got 3 seeders, we've got, you know, 3 ploughs and cultivators, etc. But I'm just, because the money's only at like 78 grand at the minute, I'm just trying to be a little bit cautious. I'm not just going to spend money willy-nilly, so I shall just take the hit when it comes to the amount of time it takes to do the job. Where are we at now, food-wise? Just under 25,000. Right, we'll go and give these one more trailer load. I feel that should be about right. Now, when it comes to the herbicide spraying in field 26 there, the wheat field, I'm going to need to spend, I think it's probably about £1,000, isn't it? Equipping this thing, the fast track, with some narrow tyres. I feel it's the only vehicle we've got on the farm, but aside from the Fendt, but I can't fit narrow tyres to the Fendt. It's not an option, so we'll be fitting narrow tyres to this thing and running the herbicide sprayer over there. So that'll be a little bit of an expense. Hello. Not done that one very well, have I? No, pulled it back. There we are. Lovely stuff. That'll do. So, I suppose that's that for a bit of an update, as I say. Plenty of work to do. So, the first job we're going to crack on with once the cows are all fed is run the field roller. We'll run in field 22 first. That's the big field that's just next to the farm. We'll get that one rolled over first, and then we'll finish off in field 17. I'll put one of those fields into a cinematic, and then pick you all up after that. But for now, very quickly, I'll get this final trailer load dumped into the cow pen. Keep them stocked up for the day and the night. And I'll pick you up in a few moments' time in the Fendt with the roller. In actual fact, before we do jump into the Fendt, let me just drop this thing off here. The hitch is quite high for that trailer, isn't it, on this tractor? But yeah, I think for my own peace of mind, it would be sensible just to make sure I know exactly what it is going to cost me to equip this beauty with some narrow tyres. I'm almost certain it's £1,000. I think it's £1,000. It tends to be about that much, doesn't it? But I think I'd just like to know, to be completely sure. So let's turn that off there. Jump into that. Customise. So where are we? Twin wheels, narrow tyres. Yeah, £1,000. Right, that'll do. Okay, and that'll enable this thing to manage the herbicide spraying. It should be good enough. I hope I'm not going to have any problems with the course play like I did in previous episodes when, obviously because this thing with its chunky tyres and sometimes with the standard size tyres, it doesn't like course play and it seems to jam and get stuck at the end of every up and down road, but we'll see how that copes. As I say, I can't, this thing doesn't have an option for narrow tyres, so we'll manage, I'm sure. But anyway, right, so Fendt, let's get this thing started. We've got a good few hours spending in this cab now. We're going to start with this big field. This is going to take quite a while, isn't it? Now, let's be honest. So, yeah, we've got a lot of land to cover. We're going to get this one done here. As I said before, I'll put this job into a cinematic and then off camera I'll get that one done as well. I shall pick you up in probably, I don't know, I'm going to have a guess and say 4 or 5 hours time perhaps. What time is it now? 20 past 8. So, see how we crack on. I'll catch you in a while. Right, I know I said I was going to pick you up after both the jobs were done. I'm actually only halfway round. We've just got field 22 completely done now. The rain started about 20 odd minutes ago, so I'm going to wait for that to clear. The forecast has told me that will clear by about 1 o'clock. But, as you can see, I'm actually in the workshop now because halfway round that job, the issue here is this tractor, the Favorite 926 here. Halfway round that job, it went from 100% healthy, completely maintained, to 50% damaged, and courseplay stopped as it's set to do, so I brought it into the workshop just to see how much it was going to cost, and it was going to cost me 3,518 quid. Now that entire job took me 4 hours to do, so roughly about it was 2 hours work to take this thing from 100% healthy to 50% damaged, and at a cost of 3,518 quid. Quite frankly, I think that's a little bit daft, to be honest. There's something inherently wrong with that. I have tried in the past to go into an XML to figure out how to alter the rate in which the vehicle gets damaged, but I can't seem to be able to figure it out. If any of you do know that, how to do that, please let me know. So what I essentially did was I wasn't prepared to pay that kind of money, because I think that is a bit of an issue. It's only got 13, I want to say, hang on, let's just have a look at it here, 39.4 hours on work hours. So that's not too much, is it? I know it's a few, but it's not a lot. I wouldn't expect a tractor to cost that much money just to do one job. And obviously, I used easy development controls halfway around that job, essentially. Fixed it through easy dev, and now we've finished the job. We've come back to it again, and it now needs another 470 quid throwing at it. So all in all, just through vehicle maintenance alone, just to get that field rolled, it would have cost me £3,988, which is... Personally, I think that's a bit ridiculous. You wouldn't spend 4,000 quid on a tractor after 2 hours work, would you, just to keep it healthy? So, the long story short is I am going to essentially swap this out with another mod. I actually have two different, they're the same vehicles, but two different mods. So I'm actually going to swap this one out for the other one, which technically is actually my preferred variant of the two. I must admit, I'm not exactly too sure why I didn't use that one over this one initially when I was setting up the farm. But I do love the tractor, I love the model, I love the, you know, it's a great machine. But unfortunately, as I said, the one I'm going to swap it out for, I suppose technically I could say I actually prefer the one I'm going to swap it out for, because it gives me a few more customization options with colours, for example, and it does actually have a nicer engine sound as well. I think it's a custom engine sound, which sounds a bit more throaty and a bit more powerful, even though technically as well the one I'm going to swap it out for is actually 35 horsepower down on this one. This one's at 320 horsepower. The one we'll be exchanging it out for, I think, is 285 at its best. But as I say, needs must. I'm not going to gain any money from it. I'm not going to lose any money from it. I'm just going to essentially swap it out and write the money, and then go crack on with field 17 over there and get that completely rolled over. So yeah, that's the plan. I don't ordinarily do that kind of thing, obviously, but for the purposes of this one, because, as I say, I think it is a bit daft that this thing's going to cost thousands and thousands of pounds just to keep it maintained. Yeah, I think that the damage rate that this thing has on it, I think, is a little bit too high. So anyway, right, enough of that. So I'm going to essentially, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to swap it out for the new one. We're going to see the rain through. I'll pick you up in a few moments' time when I've done all this, just to show you the new model. And I'm going to crack on. So, see you in a second. And here it is, the almost identical same tractor. So, same thing, Fendt 926, but as I said before, this is now slightly down on power, 285, as opposed to the previous 320, I think it was. But I hope you'll agree, it's a much nicer looking thing, and listen to the noise as well. It just sounds that it's got a much more sweeter custom engine noise, I feel, personally. It pretty much contains most of the same features. It still contains the, you can still do the reverse drive function. If I bring up the heads-up display there, not that we need it on this save, of course, at the minute anyway, but it does the same thing as that. Switch it round. This is the same tractor. This one's by Bayern Agra. It is available on the Mod Hub. So if you're interested, let me know in the comments, and I'll post a link to it if you want it. It's a cracker. So anyway, welcome to the new tractor, everyone. That's a bit of that, and as you can see as well, the money is exactly the same. I've not lost or gained anything. But what I have done as well is I have manually put the work hours back to what the previous one was, so I've not even gained any life into the tractor as well, in the hope that this one, hopefully, just doesn't wear itself out as quickly as the old one. So I hope I'm not going to eat my words and make a mistake there. But there we go. Let's get the front weight hooked up. There we go. It's got all the same features. It's got a front-mounted PTO. I have given it the electric wide-angle view mirrors as well, which don't seem to be able to do anything with. The vehicle does have interactive control, so I can, for example, open the doors, and you actually fold up the warning signs on this one with the interactive controls. You can open the doors like the other one can. I think there's a few windows you can open as well, which is pretty cool for that realism aspect. But I've always quite liked that Fendt petrol colour as well. It's a really nice one. There's not many Fendts you can stick this colour on, and it does go quite well with the dark wheels and the big fat BKTs as well. So yeah, anyway, there we go. Problem solved, I hope. Like I said, I hope I'm not going to eat my words and go and do this job now, which I'm still going to get this one done off camera. I'm going to roll away round to field 17 and get this one done. But I'm going to keep my eye constantly on the damage of this one, just in the hope that it doesn't wear itself out anywhere near as quickly. So, like I said, I shall go and crack on. The weather's cleared up now as well. Obviously the rain has been and gone, and the weather forecast has given sunshine for the rest of the day. So obviously it's 1:30 in the afternoon now, so thinking on about what jobs that we still have left to do. Obviously I know I've got the field 62 to drill, which I think realistically now that's not going to be till tomorrow, because I do have we are set to 4-day months in this save. So we'll get this rolling done, and then I think what I will do is I'm going to then equip the fast track with the narrow tyres. We'll hitch up the sprayer, get some herbicide loaded into there, and get the field of wheat sprayed over, and get rid of the weeds that are growing in there. And then at least that will have been a half-decent day down on the farm. We'll have still got a good amount of work done. That's all that matters. Because I don't think, once I've got this field rolling done, I don't think there'll be enough time in the day to run that massive seed drilling job in 62. I think the best thing to do with that would be to wait till tomorrow and get that all done nice and early, giving us plenty of time ahead of us to do it. So, anyway, this is us here, I think, on the left. Yep, here we are. So, let's get this job done. Fingers crossed, touch wood, that I haven't just completely wasted my time swapping out this tractor. But hopefully it should last a bit longer, I hope. So, see you in a wee while. Right, there we go. Job done. 2.5 hours later, we're all sorted. So, as you can see from the repair status of the vehicle, this one seems to have done the trick. A point I meant to mention earlier before jumping into that job, I do actually have the repair and paint settings mod activated in this save game, as I do on all of mine, and I always just by default dial all those settings down to 25%, so the maintenance cost and the maintenance intervals, the paint cost and the paint interval, all dialed down from 100% down to 25%. That's just a matter of habit for me, I suppose. But yeah, maybe just, I don't know what it was, whether that other vehicle just wasn't gelling with it right, I don't know, but this one seems to have worked just fine. As you can see, the damage status of it, make sure the right one's selected. Yeah, the damage status is well, very small. It's nowhere near halfway down as it was there on the previous vehicle. So anyway, job done. That's all that matters. We've fixed it. Hopefully this thing should last a bit longer. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hook up the fast track to the Shepherd sprayer there in the shed. I have, while this has been busy off camera, I have equipped the JCB with the narrow tyres that we need to do the job. Let me just bring up the heads-up display. There we go, and just see where we're up to with this. 73%, right, so it's still ticking over nicely, thankfully. So let's get this thing back to the shed. We'll jump in the fast track, hook up the sprayer. We need to fill it up with some herbicide. Now I think based on the field calculator mod and the numbers that tells us that field 26 is going to take of herbicide, it's going to be 2.5 trips essentially, or 2.5. We're going to need to fill it up, well, essentially 3 times, factoring in the first fill before we get out to the field. We'll need a second fill, and then it'll need a few hundred litres. So if we go to this one here, field 26, there we go, 10,663 litres of herbicide there. So the tank holds 5,000 litres, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that'll be 3 fill-ups to get the job done, but it is what it is. We've got to get it done. Need to get those weeds eradicated, and hopefully this should behave itself as well on its narrow tyres. So we'll take it over here. I've not actually used this thing yet with the Shepherd sprayer. We used the other Fendt last time with this sprayer, so hopefully it should perform admirably. So let's tuck it in here, get it hooked up. I'm hoping, because we've just turned 4 o'clock, so I'm hoping we're not going to have too much time. Oh, goodness me, bit of bad driving there, forgive me. Right, there we go. That's that, there we go. Yeah, I'm hoping we should have enough time just to squeeze this job in, obviously with it being 4 o'clock in October. The days are a fair bit shorter than what they are in the summer months, but fingers crossed we'll have enough time ahead of us to squeeze it in, obviously with the width of this sprayer being quite wide. I'd like to think we'll have enough time to do it, so let's go fill us up here. We'll bring up the heads-up display so I can see how much this is going to cost in herbicide, and then I can get a half-decent idea what it's going to cost all in all. So, herbicide, sorry, there we go. This will take a few seconds, there we are. 50% full. There we go, £3,600, so what's that, 7,200, 10,000, yeah, it's going to be just north of 10 grand, just under 11 grand in it to do this job. But it's got to be done. Oh, goodness me, I must admit. It's, there we go, that's quite a heavy one. Maybe we need to lift that up, or maybe, actually, what we should really do is swap weights over, because I know this concrete weight isn't particularly heavy. So, I'll take that off. Oh, hello. Oh dear. Here we go. Right, okay. Let's do this correctly, shall we? Let's drop that down. I've got to lower it first, have I? There we go. We'll get there one day. So let's, should be able to squeeze out of here. It was a bit of a kerfuffle, wasn't it? But yeah, I think this weight's considerably heavier on the front of the Fendt. This is 2,500 kilos, so it makes sense that we use this one. There we go. Just shift this one out of the way a few feet. Go. Spin this thing round. Hopefully this should have the ballast that we need. There we go. Right, let's try again, shall we? In fact, just to make that a bit easier as well. Why doesn't that do that? I've just toggled it to all wheel steering then. Oh, that doesn't seem to work either. Goodness me. Right. It would help if I did that, wouldn't it? There we go. Right, so that feels immediately better. We've got a heck of a bit more weight over the front axle there. That's better. There we go. Right, so faffing over, goodness me. get ourselves over to the field. I'll pop this job into a bit of a cinematic now as well. See how long it takes us. Hopefully we'll get it done within the hours of daylight. It is still a little bit bouncy on the front wheel, I must admit so. We're not too far away from the field. Just up here on the right hand side. We can access it there as well. It's got a couple of access points, but we'll take it to the main one, which is just on the right here. There we go. Right, so time for a cinematic, and I shall see you in a wee while's time. Right, all done. There we go. A couple of hours work. It's just turned 6 o'clock in the evening. Perfect time. We're 6:15 now, so yeah, made good use of the day. Now, forgive me again, I made a little bit of an error. I misquoted the capacity of the Shepherd sprayer here because I'd done a bit of amending. I'd amended the capacity of the 3 seeders that we have. They have a capacity of 5,000 litres, and this thing I amended to 3,000 litres, but my mind had gotten all mixed up. So this thing has a capacity of 3,000, so we needed to fill up more than I'd expected to. So in total, we have spent £14,400 on herbicide. We've still got a little bit left in the tank now, of course, but yeah, we needed to fill up, come back to the fertiliser tanks 4 times. So 3,600 quid a time, 14,400 quid. But it needed to be done, and thankfully, at the minute anyway, there's no other fields that we're going to need to run herbicide in because of the way I set this save game up essentially at the very beginning. There we go. Let's turn that off for now. Yeah, because of the way I set it up, field 26 that we've just been working in now, essentially I created that. I put that to a ploughed state using easy dev, whereas the other fields, for example, the oat and the barley fields that we drilled in the last episode, they've been ploughed and prepped properly, so there's no weeds growing in those 2 fields. And I think, off the top of my head, we should be all right for field 62 as well. I think I can't actually remember if we've ploughed those or not. I think we have. But either way, at the minute anyway, there's not any need for any more herbicide. We're just going to have to a couple of sprays of fertiliser in the fields as and when they require them. Obviously, when their first germination stage come next month for those 2 fields anyway. But that has taken us nicely to the end of this in-game day. Now, obviously, next episode we will be jumping right into the drilling of field 62, the big one there. So we'll keep these 3 here ready to go, and we'll get cracking on with that. But yeah, it's been a nice episode, I must admit. I've enjoyed myself now. Obviously, we do have a new tractor. There it is. See it in the under a bit of light there. I'm quite happy with this one, to be honest. I'm a bit gutted that I didn't go with this one from the start, to be honest. I'm not actually too sure why I did, because I've had both of the mods installed for a very long time. But hey ho, it is what it is. It's sorted now, and the maintenance level and the pace in which it breaks is nowhere near as bad. So that's all good. All good. So, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think that, like I said, this has brought us nicely to the end of this in-game day, so I'm going to call it here for today's episode. So, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I really do hope you've enjoyed the video and found it a little bit of fun and a little bit interesting. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like if you can. It does do wonders. It helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And as always, there are a host of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing a DLC, an add-on, a season pass, or even the full game itself, or even pre-ordering Farming Simulator 25, and you like the idea of helping a content creator out and supporting their channel, as always, I would be massively appreciative. So thanks again for your time, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.